Obi-Wan Kenobi hiding from the Sith for years under the secret name of Ben Kenobi. No one could figure that out.
Right. All right. So that is the Pizzagate, and then they move on. And I will say that in college, I did a thesis on Millenistic cults, and they think the world is going to end on a certain day, and then that day comes, and the world, at least up to this point, it did not end. And they it didn't end because of the this that happened. And therefore it's not January 16th. It's June 16th. And it's not 1989. It's actually 1996 that we have to wait for. And the cult in no way seems to be harmed by their failure to predict the end of the world, even though everybody sold off all their stuff or whatever. And so This is sort of like that, right? So after Pizzagate fails, QAnon takes on a whole nother narrative.
Right. So there obviously has to be a global pedophile ring. And so
I think there actually may very well be.
There is, for sure, but of course it's another instance where the answers of the problems are right in front of them, and they're coming up with some crazy conspiracy to find out what's going on, with Alex Jones and the Bilderberg Group and the lizard people.
Right.
I mean, The answer really is that there are very powerful rich people who pull a lot of the strings because they influence policy. It's not really all that hidden, to be quite honest with you.
Right, they're not lizards.
Right.
I mean, that's what we used to say on the program, was that if Alex Jones didn't exist, the CIA or the Bilderberg Group would invent him just as a way of throwing people off the trail, as to yes, you actually do have some power to influence the world we live in. Instead, Alex Jones feeds people all this stuff they're changelings, they're lizard people, and, we're all controlled. They control the weather through a machine, and basically it disempowers everybody. And this QAnon thing on some level feels sort of like that as well.
Right. So I don't know if you remember that first year of Trump's presidency. I don't know if you want to remember that, but there's that early press conference where he's in front of all those military people, and he makes this vague mention to, this is just the calm before the storm.
Yes.
And a lot of people at that time thought, is Trump planning on, launching a war or something? But to the QAnon, the people who would be the Pizzagators, who would become the QAnon people, to them that was something different. That was a hint that Trump is now involving himself in all this. And they basically concocted the story that there's this secret war being waged behind the scenes between Donald Trump and his closest confidants against the deep state and this global pedophile ring made up of, the very wealthy in the world. Hollywood, of course, plays a major role, and Democratic politicians. And they believe the reason it's called QAnon is because this information they're getting that sort of helps them form this worldview is coming from an anonymous individual who originally started putting these vague posts up on 4chan. But it was so crazy for even 4chan, where basically the alt-right and all these racist personalities basically made their name for themselves in the lead up to the 2016 election. QAnon was so crazy that 4chan didn't even want it. So they got pushed off to 8chan, which 8chan is basically the image board where all the mass shooters go to tell people they're about to commit a mass shooting before they actually go ahead and do it. So QAnon basically lived there, and this anonymous individual or individuals, we don't know, there's all sorts of speculation who or how many people are behind it, would just leave these really vague comments that basically anyone can parse anything out of. It's so vague. And that's where you sort of get this QAnon conspiracy, where it's this broader thing where, yes, Trump versus the world to take down this global pedophile ring, and everything Trump does is for a reason to take down this global pedophile ring. But because of the vague stuff Q's posting, you get all these other weird conspiracies that get birthed out of it. There's a conspiracy that JFK Jr. is still alive, actually, and is a secret Trump supporter who's helping Trump behind the scenes and just waiting for the right moment to come out and convince all these Democrats to vote for Trump by showing that he's still alive. And of course, you're JFK Jr. Whatever you say, the Democrats will do.
What was he doing for those other 15 years before Trump came on? Just hoping that Trump would win?
There's people who think that there are individuals who foresaw the Trump win years and years and years before. Well, remember, Trump's been saying since what,
right.
early 2000s at the very least.
So, do we know how many adherents there are to QAnon?
It's unclear because, there is no real like meeting point for them. There are big Facebook groups with, a couple thousand people, maybe even the tens of thousands of people. But, they're not like a group that has meetings like, when Richard Spencer had an official alt-right that would come and meet, or, the Ku Klux Klan would have their meetings or whatever. You can't even really tell the subgroups because, it's all just so dispersed. And the weird thing is that you'll notice when you see the Trump rallies, because the QAnon thing is officially gone from, internet conspiracy to you see the Q signs when they were still Trump rallies being held. What the weird thing is this is something that was birthed on these image boards that are known for basically, preteens trolling with stupid racist memes, and then actual legitimate like movement racists trying to turn those, troll racists into actual racists, and actually do something, spark some sort of shooting or something. This is an audience that's mostly, I would say, under the age of 40 to be even to be generous there. How these boomers, and it's a lot of boomers, took to this is beyond me, and I think it shows just how the QAnon movement went into the mainstream sort of, conspiratorial right-wing diaspora. And whatever that word is, and
diaspora, right?
Diaspora, thank you. And the boomers don't know the difference between real news and fake news. Sorry, boomers who are listening, but there are studies that show young people can actually tell fake news at a much better percent. Young people can tell, and boomers are more susceptible to it.
I think older people, frankly, are not used to the idea that total lunatics have as much access to broadcasting information as, the same network that had Walter Cronkite. Like, I mean, you have access to the same tools. The bar to entry is so low there that I think, you can't, I think you grow up. I mean, I just remember, my grandmother, who was not a boomer, she was much older than that. I remember shooting some video at a holiday. She was very concerned, and she called me. She's like, did it come out? And I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Did it come out? Like, because, and it used to be that you'd take some film and wouldn't, some, like half the time it just didn't come out. I'm like, no, it's video, Grandma. It's there. I knew we got it the moment I recorded it.
Right.
And that like occupied like a year and a half of our conversations, just her amazement at that structure. And I think like there's a quality of, the idea that like, wait, some dude who's just playing a prank on everybody has the same essentially amplifying system for this news as.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Because we're going to move on to, do you think that after the Trump presidency, some guy or girl or guys or girls or a mixture of the two, could be a co-ed effort, are going to come out and announce like, we're part of the Smelly Footlockers. We're an improv troupe from Ohio, and we decided to do this like 3 years ago. It just took off. And so we did it. And
I mean, I feel like at this point, if that was the case, I feel like even those people would have come out already and just been like, listen, we can't keep this going on because there are people showing up and shutting down bridges with their cars and strapped with bombs, and they have guns. And I mean, this has happened.
Right.
This has happened. Like, it's getting to the point where I think if it was all just, a joke or, a prank, it would have come out. What's probably the more realistic is that this was a bunch of, far-right grifters who knew this was all bullshit, had nothing to do with anything, and it went much further than they thought. And, why get rid of that audience? I mean, why not just continue to keep it going? I mean, they probably have a completely unaffiliated website that pushes this stuff, and that's how they get their own content. They're creating the content that they end up reporting on later on. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
All right. Lastly, why have you not tried to monetize this. Like, why do you not have a merch shop? And then maybe you do, and you just won't tell us. But why don't you have like a merch shop of like Q is coming or something like that? And like the one thing that sticks out for me in this type of situation is there's a lot of money on the table. And,
right.
You could slowly, like I was going to back in the day during Obama, there was this video going around that they were selling on like Alex Jones and this and that, like the real Obama story. And I was going to do one that would sound just like this documentary because it's all images and just a voiceover, but it would basically just push people to the conclusion that what we really need is a healthcare system where everyone is covered and the government pays for it, but Obama will never give you that. And I'm convinced I could have made thousands of dollars on that.
All right. Well, why didn't you do it?
I was just too busy. Too late.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd feel bad. Like, I think I would actually, it would.
Oh, I wouldn't have felt bad.
I don't know. Like, cause I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't feel bad for those people. I think I'd feel bad making profit off of things that are harming individuals, not so much taking their money.
You'd have to do a little bit of thing in there just to make yourself feel good about it. But I mean, maybe I could do that and like donate half of the proceedings to like, the DSA or some other leftist group. And that could probably make me feel good, knowing that money is going to, right now I could give money to people who need it during the pandemic. You know what? Maybe that would make me feel really good. So that's really easy. Time to start. Brought to you by QAnon.
Maybe it's time to look into that. The real, a lot of people are starting to sell those. This is a problem. I was about to say a lot of people are selling like customized face masks now with like your favorite team printed on it. Problem is though, the QAnon people don't believe the face masks. So
that's right. They're not going to buy those.
Right. But Trump is selling them. Have you seen that? Trump is selling Trump face masks in the Trump shop.
We're going to come out with face masks that just say, your mask protects me. My mask protects you. That way it's basically, because my experience has been when I'm out with a mask on and I see other people not wearing it, I just want to say, hey, you're an effing asshole. And so now you don't have to actually explain it. It's actually be printed on the mask.
Right. How often do you see people without?
Huh?
Because around here where I am in Flushing, Queens, like the heart of, America's Chinatown, everyone's been wearing a mask since like before this pandemic. So
yes. Not the case in the more rural parts. I can tell you that. There's a lot of like machismo involved and like, I don't have to worry about that. And it's like, well, dude, I'm not worried about you. You worry about you. I'm worried about me. And that's why you're not wearing the mask is a problem for me. And so that's what we're doing with those masks. But, sadly, the only thing QAnon mask, it could be something to the effect of like, why my mask is protecting you from a fraud.
Maybe the way to get them to wear masks is to say every dollar that you spend for a QAnon mask goes to taking down the global pedophile ring it's funding Trump's war to take down the global pedophile ring and to send those Democrats and Hollywood celebrities to jail.
This mask is not for coronavirus. It's to put Hollywood in prison. Something like that.
Right.
Matt Binder, folks should check out Doomed. Where is that available? Where can I find this?
Yeah, the audio version is at doomedpod.com, and then the live streamed version is at youtube.com/Matt Binder. Everyone should go subscribe to that YouTube channel right now.
Go subscribe to it. Do you got a Patreon?
I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Matt Binder. If you can afford to do so during these troubling times, I feel bad asking, but if you, if you can, subscribe.
Matt, always a pleasure. Thanks, buddy. Great backdrop.
Thank you. Take care, Sam.
See more of that in the future. All right.
I hope you see more of it too.
Matt Binder, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Binder. Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
All right, folks. Going to head into the fun half quickly. We'll come back. We'll take some IMs. Maybe we'll take a couple phone calls. We got a lot of sound to get through. A lot of clips. We'll be right back. We should probably do this. I want to remind you that Embark Breed and Health Test is the key to unlocking your dog's unique breed mix and genetically informed health needs. You can identify over 250 breeds, screen for over 175 genetic health conditions, to help provide the best medical care for your dog. Go to embarkvet.com now. Use the promo code MAJORITY to save 15%.